So here we are back again for our very last video, and I thought you'd like some flowers. So we can't have enough flowers at home, so here are lots of flowers. So for our very last method we're going to learn, we are going to use the oven pot method. And the oven pot method combines the method we used for the clove oil, but also uses the oven so that we get a longer infusion time using a very gentle heat. Now, we're going to work with lavender, and what can I say about lavender? Lavender is the miracle cure for just about everything, as far as some people would have you believe. But lavender is a really amazing plant. It's a really amazing essential oil, amongst other things. It's amazing for treating burns. It works with all aspects of the skin. It works with insect bites. It works with your mood. It works with memory. It works with emotions. There's really not a lot that lavender can't do. So my recommendation would be that if there is one essential oil that you have at home or one natural scent that you have at home, it would be lavender every time. And whenever I go away on holiday, and my husband, who's just going to nod from behind the camera, will attest to this, that I always carry lavender oil with me wherever we go. So first things first. So early this morning, I went to pick my lavender from the garden. So I'm only making a small batch, as this is for demonstration purposes. So the perfect time of year and day to pick lavender would be at the point when the lavender's just flowering at the top and it's just starting to lose its flowers at the bottom. And I'm just going to let the camera zoom in on this. So as you can see from my lavender heads here, the bottom flowers have fallen off, and I'm just seeing the last bit of the lavender head in flower. So this is the perfect time of year to harvest your lavender. Now, if you're in the northern hemisphere of the world, which we are here in Europe, then the best time of year for the lavenders to be harvested is around the middle of July to around the end of August. And that's our height of summer. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, hi to Australia, then yours is going to be around November, December time, when your summer is then. First things first, what do I need for this? So we're going to make an infused oil, and I'm going to make an oil that I could use for massage, or that I could put in a perfume bottle to take with me on a long journey. So we're going to need, firstly, we're going to need our plant material, which you can see right here. You're then going to need a carrier oil. And in this instance, because I'm going to be cooking this for a long period of time, this is going to take me about 8 hours in the oven, I'm going to use my coconut fractionated oil, because it has a very high heat threshold, i.e. it won't burst into flames very easily. And I'm going to have a super duper, very heavy crock top pot. So here is my pot, here is my top. I'm just going to take that out there. Somebody left it in there for me, please. So I'm going to use this very super heavy oven proof crooking. So I'm going to use this very solid, heavy cooking pot, and it has a very heavy lid, and it has a very solid base, because this is not only going to be used on my stove, but I'm also going to be using it in the oven. And if I was an old lady, I wouldn't be able to lift this lid. So first steps first, we want to prepare our plant material. And I'm just going to take my lid off, and using my secateurs, I'm going to chop the lavender and the soft stems. So at this time of year, the stems are soft. If you remember, when you get to about sort of December time on your lavender plants, you've got very dry, sticky bits. Well, we've got the leaves and the heads of the plants here, and they contain the oil. Now, I harvested, while I'm chopping these with my amazing secateurs, which aren't working properly, when I harvested this, it was just after dawn. And the reason for that is that is the best time of day for plants to have the maximum yield of essential oils in them. As I attempt to tear this apart. So just after dawn, when the dew has lifted from the plants. So what happens when a plant gets into the sunlight is that the flower will open fully, as you remember, plants and sun, they open fully, and the essential oils will be heated and will evaporate in the sunlight. So the best time of day, if you're going to cut something from the garden, especially flowers, and you want to use them to make an essential oil, cut them at the beginning of the day, just when the dew has lifted, so that there's not too much moisture on the plant, and before the sun is up fully. Now, a really good idea with that is to then leave the plant material for the next sort of 6 to 8 hours to actually dry out, so that if there's any excess moisture in there, you can remove it. It will just evaporate from the plant. Over to the stove. So over at my stove, I've got my plant material at the bottom. As I said, I'm not making a very big batch because this is for demonstration only. I'm then going to cover my material with my carrier oil, which in this instance is my fractionated coconut oil. And I'm making sure it's covered nicely. Probably with a handful of plant material, it will probably need about 250 millilitres, a quarter of a pint of oil. Step one, we will use the same method as we did with the clove oil. We will heat the oil first. We will make sure it doesn't boil, so it just needs to become hot, and it will sit in that hot oil for about an hour, and then we will transfer it to the oven. So I'll see you in an hour. So here we are back at the pot after an hour of the oil warming to a nice hot, warm temperature, not boiling, just heating through. And I've been about my pot and stirring occasionally to make sure that the material inside is still being covered by the liquid. So we're going to have a little peep inside. I'm going to take the top off. And if we had smelly vision, it would be smelling awesome right now. So we're going to go and have a look inside the pot. And as you can see in the pot, we've got the plant material, the lavender, and we've got the oil. And now what we're going to do with this is we're going to first put the lid back on, and then we're going to put it into my warmed oven for about 6 hours. So my oven is on a very, very low temperature. It's actually on 50 degrees centigrade, which is the lowest setting on my oven. And just literally wanting to keep that oil warm in the pot so that it continues doing its infusing that it's been doing. So let's put it in the oven. The pot full weightlifters. I think you could get a good pair of biceps by getting this one in and out the oven all the time. And I'm going to fold that up and let that sit there now for 6 hours. So we'll see you in 6 hours. So here we are, probably about 8 hours later now actually. The mixture has heated and fused through with a beautiful scent of lavender, and I've allowed it to cool down. So it's taken me about 2 hours for it to cool down. So next step, as usual, we're going to need something to put the oil into. And because I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to use my lavender oil for, so I can use it to make a perfume, I can use it for massage oil, I can use it just as a skincare product. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in what I would call a universal jar. So with this jar, this style of jar, it's quite a large one. It means that I can take it in and out and use it as and when I want to. This beautiful jar has a heart at the front, and I very much believe that when you're creating something that comes from a place of love, so for me that's a love of flowers, a love of what I do, a love of lavender, a love of the healing benefits of working with these products, then I feel that there is some of that energy is taken into your product. So Everything that I do with love, and round my jar is a heart, and that heart also carries the vibration of love that's actually working with the product as well. So it's a really nice idea to work with love as you're working with your products. So very, very simply, got my handy funnel, got my sieve, and I'm going to just balance all of that together. And I'm going to just filter my oil into my jar down below. And I'm going to take out all the sticks and all the leaves. I'm going to give it a little push as it's going down through. And I don't know if you can actually see that from there, but it's actually a light green material. It's actually light green, so it's taken on some of the colour of some of the foliage. It'd be nice if it had taken on some of the purple, wouldn't it? But it hasn't. So we've got a nice light green colour and it smells beautiful. So I will finish doing that later, but I just wanted to show you how to finish that process. Here we are, our finished bottle of, it's sealed, our finished bottle of lavender infused oil using the oven method. And you know what I'm going to say last but not least? Put a label on it. I haven't done mine yet, but I will do in a minute. I hope you enjoyed that.